Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
I just made a realization, actually.
Okay.
About what our next episode's going to be a special one.
Oh,
Cody,
no.
do you happen to notice what number this is?
It's 420. Next week is 420. Damn. Do we have to plan something? do we have to celebrate?
I mean,
we're going to light it up?
I don't.
Neither of us smoke weed, but...
No, I don't. Me?
Yeah.
Me?
Come on now.
Who do you think you're talking about? But I will make jokes about it because I do think it's funny.
That's true.
Welcome to Into the Twilight.
Heyo.
We're here.
We are so here.
We're so here. We're so back.
We've never been more here, nor back.
How are you doing?
I'm here. I'm living. I wanted to bring a show to the space, okay?
Yeah?
Because, listen, we've all been watching Righteous Gemstones. If you have taste and sensibilities and just a great joie de vivre, right?
If you know what's good for you.
If you know what's good for you, you're watching Righteous Gemstones. And through that, as the season is almost over, I'm like, I love Danny McBride.
He's so hot.
He's so hot, and like, I am familiar with his work, but less so in his TV stuff outside of Righteous Gemstones. And so I was like, I want to explore that more. And HBO has all of the things. So I was like, you know what? And it's always recommended after. I'm like, fuck it. Let's try something, right? And so we put on Vice Principals, which is the show that he made, co-starring himself and my man, Walton Goggins.
Yeah.
As two vice principals in a eternal battle with one another and also the establishment, because one of them wants to be the principal and they keep getting passed over for it.
Yeah. Don't always seem to go.
And this show is so fucking good. It's only like 2 seasons. It's really short, but these two together, obviously they're great in Righteous Gemstones, but this is such a incubator for the writing and insults and like wild scenarios that definitely play a part in Righteous Gemstones. That's so fun to watch because these two are fucking sickos. They're sickos, and they get themselves into an immeasurable amount of trouble because a new principal walks in and they're like, fuck, we didn't get the job, this sucks, I hate you because I'm better than you and I should have gotten it over you. What if we work together and take down this bitch who thinks she can take our job? That should have been one of ours.
Right.
And what happens is just the most comedy of errors attempts at defrauding or like ruining the reputation of their now boss while also working at a school.
That's historically accurate.
Yes,
by the way. That is actually how schools work.
Yes, and like when you think of Danny McBride and of course Righteous Gemstones, but in all of his other stuff, like there is such a great awareness and commentary over like the dude psyche, right?
He's so tapped in.
Yes, he's tapped into the zeitgeist when it comes to like power or interpersonal relationships or workplace dynamics. Family relationships as well, like being kind of a shit dad, right? There is such an interesting, like, understanding of that, while also making it funny, but reflecting, like, true and real things that is so good. And these two are fucking sickos together, and they are... It's two dumb bitches telling each other exactly. That is what this show is. That is... If I could describe it in one sentence / meme, that is what it is. So silly. And you also have some Edie Patterson cameos in there as well, which is great. I love that for her.
I love this. It has been on my list. Looking at this these are really the two different ways that teachers dress, so I already feel
literally
very represented.
Yep.
It's either love fucking PE teacher, coach, or twee gay.
Yep.
And that's really it.
Yeah.
This is very good. I'm very excited. I love these two.
Yeah.
I love that if Danny McBride's going to do something, he's going to write a new project and he's going to make sure that Walton Goggins is in it, and I love that.
And that's a great philosophy, right? Of being like, I'm going to make stuff and I'm going to put my friends in it because my friends are talented and good, and I'm going to make cool shit if people let me do that. And it works every time. I want to see these dudes just fucking jerk each other around for millions of episodes of television, always.
I love your fight song.
This is my fight song. How are you doing?
Oh god, I'm also bringing a fight song to the space this week.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Love that.
I am persisting. I already hear it. Everyone shut up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about something from Dropout. I wish it was fucking sponsored, but it's not, okay?
Yeah.
It's just... Sometimes there's a network that makes good shit, and I don't know what to tell you, okay? Sometimes you don't want to talk about the Valley because it's not good, funny, it's traumatizing.
Yeah.
Okay? So, right. Sorry about it, okay?
Yeah, we're on two very
sorry that
interesting
I don't want to talk about...
parts of the spectrum here.
Sorry that I don't want to talk about abuse as my happy thing, okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about a comedy special called 4 Pills. By someone I've had a crush on for over a decade, Cameron Esposito.
Thank God.
Okay?
Thank God. Speak on it.
So I watched this on Easter.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm a spiritual being.
Sure. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is going to be so great. I'm going to watch this. I'm going to clean my house. I'm going to laugh because there's one thing that I love to do, which is watch Cameron, who's beautiful. And I've had a crush on forever, and I'm going to laugh, and it's going to be great. And then you know what I did? I started sitting down on my couch and crying.
Yeah.
Like a comedy special does.
Like I always do. My favorite comedy specials.
You know how comedy specials are sometimes? Where they just make you sit down and sob? While you're holding Windex in your hand? And a fucking microfiber towel, which I hate, but they do work for cleaning. So this comedy special is great. Okay? It's really good. I don't know what to tell you all. I've had a crush on Cameron for a really long time. They're great. This special is done really well.
Yeah.
It is very cathartic. Okay. I made the mistake. This was my bad.
Sure.
I didn't watch the trailer for it.
Yeah, same. I was very, set me off my shit, for sure.
Because I was going to watch it regardless, right?
Yeah.
I was going to watch it regardless. So I just went into it, and I was like, oh, 4 Pills. That could be about anything.
Sure.
That could be about whatever, right? And it was funny. It's comedy. I don't know what to tell you. It's a funny special, okay? But sometimes people talk about bipolar disorder in a way that it's like, I'm also the least interesting person in my family. And sometimes that does make you stop cleaning your window and sit down and go, oh, I'm going to quickly jot this down because I'm going to talk about this to my therapist tomorrow.
Yeah.
And have to explain to my therapist that I cried over a fucking comedy special on Easter.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be funny. And it was. But sometimes you cry, too.
Oh, yeah. It's so good, though. Like...
It's so... Like, the first time that they switched to the all-white...
Yeah.
I was like, uh-oh.
There goes my
This
heart.
is how I felt when I started watching Inside. Uh-oh. I might
here's
stop
that
cleaning.
feeling creeping again. Uh-oh, wait.
There's that funny feeling. Uh-oh. Oh, no. It's still very funny. It's still great. Just have some Kleenex nearby.
Yeah, just be ready.
That's all I'll say.
Ready to feel.
And that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing.
Oh, yeah.
This is just a reminder to me, sometimes you still need to watch the trailers for stuff you're going to watch anyways. But some of my favorite comedy does make me feel a lot of different emotions, and that's not a bad thing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
The only exception is today's episode, which made me feel a lot of things. I'm not ready to talk about it, so we're going to talk about something.
We got a hard pivot before we do that.
Before we make a really hard pivot, we do need to talk about our current events, which is a happy thing.
Yes.
Could you tell folks about what also happened on 420?
God. And what an absolute treat. There were other things to be crying happy tears about, and that is Kristen Stewart and Dylan Meyer got married. Pew, 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 pew. I fucking love that.
This is so cute.
They're so cute. They're they're like in beautiful casual California outfits. They're both blonde. They're loving and caressing one another. I'm obsessed with them. God, I love love.
I also love love. I love that they apparently kind of tied the knots at their house beforehand, but I think that it's very, celebrities, they're just like us. But they did this at like a Mexican restaurant just a couple blocks away from their house, and that's so real.
Yeah.
That's so relatable. I'm glad that they didn't follow through with the original plan when they got engaged of having Guy Fieri there.
Oh my god, I forgot.
He's made that hard pivot.
Yeah.
Sense. So I'm glad. This seems very chill, very relaxed, and that is a nice thing to see. Recession indicator? Maybe. Sure. But also, these two are just kind of vibes.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
They have a very vibes-based presence and energy, and, I don't think any one of them would be like, oh, a traditional wedding, right? It's like, no, I want to party with my friends and just sign some documents and eat some great Mexican food. Fuck yeah.
Right. The last thing that I would associate with Dylan and Kristen is like a lavish wedding in Italy.
Sure.
A la a Kardashian kind of thing. That would feel very out of character, but also, could you imagine? You know what I mean? I think that this is very on brand for them. I think it is adorable. I'm happy if they're happy.
I love that. Now, since you said that, I am now imagining a universe in which they did do an Italian wedding, and then they have beef with Kim Kardashian, who's like, you stole my wedding country. Andrea Bocelli, my favorite vocalist of all time. How dare you?
You saw me get married in Italy and wear a black dress, and then you got married in Italy and wore a black dress.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
I do want those worlds to collide. I don't think they ever will, but I kind of need that for my brain rot.
Just the idea of that beef is so funny to me. Okay, everyone take a deep breath, and we're going to scream about this episode. You ready? Let it in, and scream. I do think it is important to note, and I put this in our notes, because I didn't find out until after I watched this episode. This aired on Valentine's Day of 2013.
So sick and nasty.
That is such a fuck you.
Yeah.
To this fandom.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing that after watching this made me sick to my stomach. Yeah. Because what do you mean?
Those sick fucks. Also, something that was interesting to note about the timing of this episode is that the episode's called Down the Rabbit Hole. And which I understand, Alice in Wonderland, we got the references. It's very apparent in this episode what that's alluding to. However, the official hashtag for this episode, which I guess they had a hashtag for every episode, which is sometimes listed in the Vampire Diaries wiki.
Do you remember when that happened?
Which is beautiful. That was a different time. I love it. The one for this particular episode is hashtag the red pill, which
No.
During this time, different meaning, right? For sure. And I get it because down the rabbit hole, for sure. But seeing that now with such a different lens of what that term is used for.
The way my stomach just clenched, like I just got such a fucking visceral reaction from that.
Whoops. God. Ooh, yikes. Not your fault.
Hey, who came up with that?
Yeah. Time was not kind to this particular hashtag, so I apologize.
God, Twitter was so different.
So different.
Not to be like, okay, Grandma, but like the internet was not safer back then.
Sure.
But I miss it. Okay? Shoot me. Yeah. I would take Gamergate over what we have now, actually. It was a little bit more like for a chronological timeline and for a Twitter and a Tumblr that end. I don't have Tumblr anymore, but like for feeds that just end.
Yeah.
Because you get to the end. Yeah. Yeah, I will. I would take it. I'm so done. I'm so pissed. I can't believe that people wanted us to watch this show. All I do is suffer every week.
This is the hardest job in the world.
No one works harder than us.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
No one is suffering more watching a show that's 11 years old. All right, where do you want to start? I feel like I'm trying to give someone feedback in a fucking writing seminar. Like, what was the good stuff?
Yeah. Well, just to, not even good nor bad, but I do think it is important for us to note that we do have Dimitri in this episode. We do have Mr. Charlie Bewley from Twilight.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
That is just across the board. He's here. Hello. He's here.
It was hard to not focus on that.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly, one, because the accent.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, you're trying to be... What did Damon... He called him Shrek.
Yeah, he's like...
but I was like, I know what you are.
Their little dynamic at the beginning of this episode is so funny. The Shrek comment is also incredibly important to me. But he's being like, hey, Damon, tell me about the tattoos. What do you know? Blah, 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 blah. And Damon's like tied up to this tree. And is like, do you think I know anything about tattoos? Look at my skin. It's flawless. Come on now. It's like, all right, sir. Being coy.
It is wild that of the two, like of Stefan and Damon, Stefan is the one that has the tattoo and not Damon. Because I feel like,
yeah,
in my headcanon, Damon definitely has tattoos.
Sure. Because he's bad boy.
That just... Because he's a bad boy. But... I thought that was very funny. The idea that while all of this fucky shit is happening this episode, we just continue to pan back and Damon is just being dragged through this island by a rope on his neck.
Bro can't catch a break.
He's just been having... This whole island adventure for him has been awful. Yeah. When he gets home and writes this, he doesn't have a journal, but like when he gets home and writes this in his journal, he's going to be like, "Dear diary, this trip sucked," and underlines it several times.
Never go on a vacation with your bros and your friends ever. Don't do it.
Right.
Never do it again.
Don't try to, don't fall in love. Don't try to save the girl that you love.
Yep. Don't
go to Canada. Like, that's what he's going to take away from this kind of thing. While we're talking about Galen, because first of all, Galen Vaughn, that's such a...
Yeah, it's a powerful name.
Two names that end in N. It's just like, all right, chill. We got a very interesting piece of lore about him, which is that a couple days ago when Jeremy went sicko mode and all his tattoos appeared, that apparently happened to all of the hunters. So, not great. That's not good.
They've all just been like sleeper agent. They're like, okay, we're ready.
They all got the bat signal, so that's not good. Second of all, he's not the one who killed the mercenary. So we still did not know for most of the episode who that was.
Yeah.
Spoopy. Third, that Galen was under the impression he's like, well, you need to go take care of your witch. And then Damon was like, Bonnie doesn't care about me. You have this all mixed up. We don't give a fuck about each other. And Galen's like, well, listen, I've been following you all around. I know about you.
Yeah. Surely you have.
Not enough,
some
Galen.
Care.
Not enough. These two will kill each other.
This has happened multiple times in which last time it happened with Shane, and now it's happening with Galen, of people assuming that Damon will give a fuck enough about Bonnie to do anything to help her. And that being like a core tenet of their plan, right? Of being like, well, surely you were with her this whole time. You like her. Maybe you don't want her to die. And Damon's like, I wouldn't be like that upset over it. Like, I got other things going on. I got closer relationships. You picked the wrong guy for this.
Damon has changed a lot over the last 4 seasons.
Yeah.
A very core tenet of his personality is that if it was not for Elena, he would not give a flying fuck about Bonnie.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with it.
Sure.
I think that it's wrong of him, given how much they've needed to rely on witchcraft over the last 4 seasons. However, that part of his personality has remained very static.
Yeah, for sure.
So weird. It's so... Alright, sure. I do agree with you, though. It was very distracting. They could put as many dark clothes on that were not red on him as they wanted to, but I was still like, I know that you're Dimitri. And it's very weird that you're just in this space right now.
Yeah.
Because what do you mean? Like, if it was Marcus, this wouldn't work.
Yeah, right.
Are you kidding?
Come on now.
What if Silas is Mark? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, hear me out, guys. Hold
the
on.
actor that ends up being, I would freak it. I would freak out. Okay. Other things that did not completely piss me off are, I'm a little confused by it, but I did think it was funny that all of a sudden Elena is making international calls to Caroline.
It's like, you're in Canada, y'all. You got that international phone plan? What's going on here?
Shane said last episode that he had a satellite phone. So what do you mean,
right.
Elena? That just your regular ass standard plan is working?
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
Not to be a bummer, but like, Elena, you don't have parents. It's like, who is paying your phone bill?
Jesus.
Listen. I know she's a landlord or whatever, but she's not charging these fuckos rent, right? She doesn't have a job.
True. No, you're right.
She doesn't go to school. Where's the phone bill coming from?
I mean,
do they all have a family plan? It's just her and everyone else being like, okay, if we all just split this, we'll let Jeremy and Matt jump in the most change because they're actually working sometimes. So maybe.
No, actually, you're right, and you should say it because, well, hold on. Let's math this out for a second because you brought up a really good point.
Yeah, this is something we need to divert 30 minutes of energy into. Yes, for sure.
No, this is now a math word problem because it's been maybe 2 years since her parents have died, so I don't know that the life insurance would still be going.
Sure.
Presumably, if Jenna had her shit together, she would have had life insurance.
Sure.
But she was a graduate student, so who's to say, right? Let's pretend that she did, so maybe they're living off of that right now.
Sure.
I know for sure Rick did not. He did not have his shit together enough for that.
No.
So I'm going to presume that it's life insurance money.
Okay, that's fair. I think that's fair.
That makes the most amount of sense to me. I think if anything, Rick may have had like cash saved up, but that's not enough to pay for a phone plan even back in 2013. And for international calls, are you kidding?
Yeah, he had a couple of like loose bills under his mattress because he was afraid of banks and didn't trust them, but that was like about it.
Right. I remember when I went to Canada in 2016, I was freaked the fuck out about using my data there.
Sure.
Because it was still expensive.
Yeah.
So there's no way. Listen, I'll live in your fantasy world as much as you want, but make it make sense.
It's like, listen, I understand all the vampire and witch shit, but who the fuck is paying this phone bill? That's where I draw the line for logical fallacies.
Show me the money. Show me where it is. That's all I want to say.
Oh my gosh. Also, funny things before we get into just like really, really bad stuff.
God.
Caroline has so many good line deliveries in this fucking episode.
Dude.
First of all, I love that we finally have her back, and immediately she's like doing a cipher situation. Like, get her in a puzzle, get her in, coach.
She's so smart.
Use her, Jesus. But she's like talking about the internet and being like, oh my god, it's gonna be so easy because we have the internet. And Klaus is being like, oh, this is a language you guys don't understand, but I do. Ha ha. Sorry. But she's like, nah, it's probably good. It's probably like something back from the Google Times.
I love her because as soon as she sees that cryptex on the sword's handle, she's like, what? Don't look at me. I've seen the Da Vinci Code.
Right.
Girl.
Literally.
I love you.
She's like, excuse me. I got this. Don't worry. Like, I am.
Everyone move over.
No, that's my girl. That's my fucking girl.
I can't wait. Now that she's an actual, like, immortal vampire, let her go on Da Vinci Code adventures.
God,
please.
Yes.
Let her solve all these crimes. I thought that was hilarious because, of course, Caroline, who's a badass, like valedictorian, does everything, would be like, you know what the best way to solve this puzzle of germs, all of his tattoos is we need to get flashcards, we need to get index cards, we need to be able to like map everything out, put it on a whiteboard. I love her. She's so smart.
God.
Also, Tyler's there.
Yeah, Tyler is there.
She needed just manpower to be able to find the sword in the attic, but then he's just really there to grimace
right
at Klaus.
Like, listen, if Klaus is going to be here regardless, I need you to just, like, stare at him uncomfortably and annoy him.
Distract him.
That's your goal here in this unit.
Right. The translation that they got from it was, and I know that it's in Aramaic, so like some of the language I'm taking with a grain of salt, but them saying on there that it requires a powerful witch and then a hunter in full bloom.
Yeah.
Is, which I know is to mean that like all of his tattoos have appeared.
Sure.
But the bloom is a lot there.
Yeah.
The fact that they're shocked, by the way, of it being only one dose.
Like, be so for real. Be so... What did you think?
Thought...
You think there was going to be 1 million doses for every vampire in the entire world? In a cave with one guy?
Right.
What were you thinking? Maybe, like, 2, right? But, like, you gotta assume that, like, if there's a cure, there's probably just the one, right? Probably just
right.
the one. And if you can synthesize it, maybe, but, like, I don't think y'all are smart enough to do that. And I don't think there's any doctors in Mystic Falls anymore, or scientists in Mystic Falls anymore. So,
no, I think they killed them all.
They're all dead. There's no one left.
No, I think that maybe they interpreted the cure as, like, when Silas is raised, it just, like, spreads across the land.
Sure.
But, no, buds, it's an antidote.
Yeah.
Just one.
I also, like, wasn't expecting it to be just, like, a vial of, like, an injection. You know what I mean? Like, it makes sense, but I did, like, understand the idea of being like, oh, like, he's the, you know, the culmination of this thing. Whatever.
Yeah, no, he's just holding a liquid IV packet.
He's just like gripping real tight in there. Which the whole thing of him being like stuck and frozen and everything, because he's, you know, been there for a long time and grasping it. And Bonnie's like, oh shit, we gotta like raise him up and revive him so we can get it from his grasp. And it's like, Bonnie, you're a witch.
You have powers, first of all. And also then we know there's like 6 vampires on this island who could snap that bone off.
Yeah,
Why is the immediate thing we need to bring the Antichrist back?
Right. Like, that wouldn't be my first thought if I had powers. You know? Like, you don't need him alive. You just need the thing, right? Ideally.
Arguably the last thing you need.
Right. Yeah, that would kind of be the worst thing to do right now. I know she's really overwhelmed and stuff, and there's a lot of emotional things going on. But, like, what? Yeah. Why would that be your thought?
Why would you want to go towards the thing that Shane wants, is my question.
Yeah, right. Like, we gotta distance ourselves more from that man. And you're doing great, but, like, we do need to push that a little farther.
I was kind of taking it with a grain of salt because, one, she didn't just scrape her hand coming down. Yeah. She lost what looked like a quart of blood. Yeah. That got trickled down into Silas's gob. Gross, first of all. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, uh-oh, this is not going to go well. Yeah. But then we got to see, which I felt like was obvious, but the confirmation that the hallucinations are not, in fact, ghosts. Yeah. But are Silas. It was very sad the way that they portrayed that.
I should have known with last episode and the whole fucking Shane thing of seeing his wife and all those things, that they would weaponize that against Bonnie as a character, because they can't let this bitch rest at all. Right? These writers want her fucking dead and tortured at every turn. And I'm fucking sick of it. And I should have assumed that, of course, anything with a potential to bring back a dear past loved one, they would just rub that in Bonnie's face at every chance they get. And it was foolish of me not to think that. And when it did, I fucking felt so bad. I fucking hate it. I hate it so bad.
Well, because as soon as she heard about it, like a couple episodes ago, her eye, like, she perked up. Yeah. And I knew, this is not going to bode well. Right.
But I do appreciate that Jeremy was there to be, like, grounding in reality, right? Because oftentimes she's having these sort of conversations alone, right? Whether it's, like, her grandma or any other, like, past figure that she has lost and has a connection to spiritually, right? And that's a hard thing to do by yourself when nobody understands what you're going through. And having Jeremy as like, hey, I know what you think you saw, but I am real. You can touch me and feel me, and I'm here, and I'm real, and I exist, you know? Like, let's go to here, you know?
was so sick and twisted of them to, one, bring Grams back, even though we know it's not Grams in this moment, it's Silas.
Yeah.
Because Grams, the last time that we saw her, was like, fuck you for using expression, this goes against everything I've taught you, like, I'm done. And so the fact that she, and again, I'm using that in quotes because we know it's Silas, is so excited in this moment to be like, oh my god, bestie, you can bring me back, like, everything's gonna be great, is very sick and twisted, and I'm tired of them, you know, using Bonnie as a punching bag here.
Yeah.
But then to do an Orpheus and Jeremy to be like, just close your eyes and listen to my voice.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Because he's like, hey, bestie, I can see ghosts. I'm glad that you remembered that, Jeremy, because you haven't talked about that in months. Yeah. So I'm glad you remembered you have that power. Yeah. He's like, girl, I can't see shit. Yeah. So... like,
I can't even see my really mad ex-girlfriends here, so we...
Yeah, my dad Rick isn't even here, so that's not... Your grandmother is not with us right now. Yeah. She's like, damn, that sucks. Yeah. Anyway. I hated it. It was so good and it was so painful. And nasty. It's nasty work that they're doing. When they were down there, I don't know if the writers meant for us to have any sense of compassion for Shane. I felt none.
Yeah. Not a bit.
When he was there with his broken leg under those huge ass boulders that Bonnie made, I felt nothing.
Yeah. Sorry, dog. Sorry. I do love too. There was a great moment of like at the beginning in the cave when they're like being guided there with Masak, is that how you pronounce it? Where he's like, all right, you told me to get, you know, the witch and the kid, and I did it, so you're on your own, I want to get paid now. And then Silas, in a moment that's not intended to be funny and all, but I found it very funny, just picks up Big Rock, right? And I'm like, oh, this bitch is broke. Yes. This bitch is broke. Did not realize that was like actually a really important thing. That was part of Silas's tombstone, which I guess has calcified blood in it, which is very valuable for witch. So that's fun. But it was very funny to see him like pick up a rock and be like, is this enough? Like, is this... I don't have money. But here's rock. Here's rock.
Oh, Shane. I know that in that moment, he is coming off of the conversation with Stefan, being like, here's how it feels to lose all hope or whatever. Yeah. The only moment where I did feel something, and this isn't necessarily for the character, it was more so the shot itself that I thought was done really well, where we get to see his wife in that moment. Yeah. And then they switch it and you get to see that he's just talking to the air. Yeah. In that. Oof. And it's like, I mean, you're showing how little you believe in your audience in this moment. For sure. But I thought that it was well done to kind of really see, like, if you hadn't got it yet. Right. Yeah. That this is all just Silas in this moment. I agree with you, though, that it was not... Shane had a moment that wasn't meant to be funny earlier on. I think it was right when they got down to the cave, and he was like, I'm trying to look for an entrance to where Silas is. We all need to look for it. Oh, of course it'll be this, like, perfect circle here. Yeah. And it's like, hey, bud, you mean the part where the only amount of light is coming through? That part? Got it. The part that's, like, fucking pointing you to the X?
Okay, Indiana Jones. All right.
No, for real.
Totally. You got this. You don't need any tour guides. You're good.
I get it. I know that he has just been manipulated this whole time. Mm-hmm. But there are more important things that are happening this episode and also he's fucked over Bonnie enough that Shane is on my shit list. Yeah. Personally.
Forever and ever.
Forever. I guess there are three modes of pain here. Sure. Do you want to talk about Tyler? Do you want to talk about Rebecca and the one dose? Do you want to talk about what happens in the cave at the end. Choose your character. Choose your pain.
Choose your pain. Let's start with Tyler, because I want to be done with this. Because again, his role is just to be there and annoy the fuck out of Klaus. And Klaus also is like, okay, I'm helping you with this thing because I'm so good and I'm so generous and I'm so charitable. Also, but I do have a reputation to uphold. And I also want to kill Tyler just because I want to. So, like, let's just do that, right? That's easy, right? That's super easy.
Yeah.
And Caroline's like, hey, bitch, no. How about you don't do that? And he's like, and he does this shit all the time where he's like, we're so the same. We're so similar. We have all these different things. And it's like, motherfucker, you say this to everyone you meet. You say this to Stefan. You're saying this to Caroline. Uh-huh. You're like, choose something, right? I know you're just manipulating people, but also, like, give it up. Get a new line, at least, right? Of to make that connection. And Caroline, rightfully so, because she still has this connection to Tyler, is like, okay, bitch, I'll play your game, right? How about if you're so like me, we're so connected, we're so similar, how about you show some fucking compassion, you little bitch? How about you let him go for a second and just don't worry about it anymore? He's fine. He's a kid. Like, what the fuck ever. Yeah, did he turn all of your hybrids against you? Yeah. Was it kind of sick, though? For sure. You can respect that. Game recognized game, right? But, like, how about you just feel something in your heart, like what I would do if I was in the position of dealing with you, right? And he's like, fucking fine, you're annoying. I'll let him go for, like, a hot minute, and then he can run away. And then I'll kill him when I find him. And it could be a fun little game that we do. And he'll just be on the run forever.
It's so nasty because she's asking for Klaus to show mercy in the way that she would. Right. And he's like, bet, great. I'll definitely show mercy in the sense that I'll give him a head start. And then I'll kill him. Yeah. That's not what she asked for.
No, that's not what she said, dog. It's like, listen, I can meet you not halfway, but maybe like 5% of the way there. You know what I mean? Like, what if I'm just like, I'll give you a
by
little...
doing what I was gonna do anyways.
Right.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, and just give him like a little head start. That's nice and compassionate and empathetic, right? And merciful. For sure.
Klaus, I know you have some good lines. I did think it was funny that you were like, moreover, I do want to kill him.
So good.
Because that's...
He's a petty bitch.
That is unfortunately funny.
Yeah.
He is gonna be petty, and I do unfortunately respect that. What I think is so wild is that Caroline is getting this arc. Which, first of all, I'm so tired of Caroline crying over boys. But she's getting this arc where they're sitting on the porch and crying and pretending that Klaus can't hear this, I guess. Where she's saying, like, tell me that you'll forget about me, that you'll have this, like, happy life without me, you know, until we find a way because we're both immortal. This is exactly what we were talking about when she had that plot line with her dad of, like, this is a gay-coded storyline.
Right.
Why is... Then why is my question. Where is the gay? Yeah. I see it because it's like, oh, well, you know, he was a hybrid, now he's a werewolf. Like, I get it. I see it because I'm a critical thinker.
Sure, right.
But does the audience see it in this conversation? And also, when are we going to see Caroline with a woman? Just let her...
Come on.
If you're going to keep making her cry because she's an actress and she's a beautiful crier, then let me see it.
Yeah. I want her to cry over a beautiful butch who's maybe done her wrong, but she still comes crawling back. You know? That's what she needs.
God.
That's what she needs.
This is so much to ask for. If you're going to give her this storyline that's so obviously like, this is forbidden, this will never happen, I want you to forget me and move on. Hello?
Yeah, it's not even subtext. This is text. This is the text of Caroline's entire deal.
This is text when she just had, less than a year ago in the story, of her dad trying to convert her.
Yeah. Come on now.
I'm so
Cowards.
over it. I'm so tired of watching her cry. Yeah. And then to see this fuckface Klaus be like, I was only compassionate because of you. Mm-hmm. And you cue all of the flashbacks of Klaus doing literally nothing.
Right.
Like,
yeah, you know my other famous examples of being compassionate. You all remember that.
The flashbacks are just blank. There's nothing there.
Yeah, file not found.
Yeah, 404.
Yeah.
It's just it's so embarrassing. Is it bad because Bonnie got KO'd at the end and then that means that her magic's gone, so Klaus out of the box? Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
But that's not Bonnie's fault.
Mm-hmm.
It's not because of her magic. That's all. Well, that's a next episode problem.
Yeah.
Is anyone surprised that when Rebecca found out from Klaus that there's only one dose, which, by the way, I did think it was funny that Tyler tried to, like, hang up the phone really fast. When that happened. It was so funny.
Yeah, because Klaus tried to give her a heads up, being like, hey, you should take it first, because there's only one, and I know you really want it, and I'm being a good brother for the first time in my entire life. And Tyler's like, from fumbling with the phone, being like, stop. Enough.
Sorry, we gotta go. The pizza's here. Bye.
Yeah.
Is anyone surprised that when Rebecca asked Stefan, hey, so if there's only one dose, and it's between you, me, and Elena, who are you going to give it to? It's Elena, right? And he's like, well, yeah, obs. That she snapped his neck.
I love her. First of all, get his ass. Right? Like...
yeah, fuck this dude.
Fuck this dude.
How dare he hold Elena's hand in front of you as friends?
Like,
Get him.
He has no respect for Rebecca at all. Like, we keep getting close, right? Of being like, I understand that you are a fully dimensioned...
Sucking big brother. Get him.
Right. Like, he's so close to being like, you're a fully realized person with wants and desires. And then he just goes full back the other direction. Because, like, they keep teaming up and being like, hey, I know this is important to you, so for sure we're gonna get this to you. But, like, when conditions change... how quickly she falls on the totem pole of his priorities.
Yes.
Even
he's
when
sick and twisted.
Yeah. He's being a little bitch this whole episode.
He uses her.
Yeah.
As a means to his end.
Mm-hmm.
And it is only fair for her to be like, no, fuck you, actually. That's not right.
Right.
I'm going to go get it for myself.
Yeah. It's just like, Stefan's being such a little bitch boy in this episode. Because it's like, even him talking with Elena and being like, and she's like, hey, why didn't you tell me that you also wanted the cure? Like, and he was like, well, is none of your beeswax, first of all. It's like, actually.
Actual quote, by the way, he did say that.
Yeah. And he's like, listen, being normal is like something I've always wanted, even before I met you, so like, you're not relevant to that conversation. And also, this is something I only talk about with like my deep personal close friends. And she's like, what the fuck is your problem? Why? Can we be normal, please? Like, this is so embarrassing. Like, why are you acting like
He's so annoying.
Yeah. God, get over it.
Remember like 2 months ago when you were dating Stefan? Like,
yeah.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah, you know, someone you told all of your deep, dark, personal secrets to, and this never, you know, what the fuck is your problem?
I can't with this. I can't. And I think that is ultimately why Elena eats it up, unfortunately.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Why Damon was, even though it was nasty, like, he was correct in being like, I think you need to go down the well and go get her.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was right of him to do that. But he is ultimately putting Elena's needs before his own.
Yeah.
There. And Elena at her core is basic, okay? And I think that
yeah, we often forget that is a core tenet of her personality.
She tries to not be basic by like, oh, I'm not a cheerleader. Oh, I write in my journal in the cemetery. But she is basic. She's a landlord, okay? We have to remember that she does want a guy with a rose tattoo.
Yeah. Yeah.
she does want the fantasy of someone who's dark and mysterious and doesn't give a fuck, but that's not who she's going to end up with.
No.
It's unfortunate. Seeing Damon this episode really hurt me.
Yeah.
Not only because he just had some great one-liners of him saying ditto to Galen before they went and started trying to kill each other was so
good.
Great.
So good.
And then, you know, he's even looking after Rebecca, too.
Yeah.
Trying to pull... Galen had some nasty stuff in his kill kit. That, like, grenade...
Oh my god, yeah. He was strapped the fuck up. Yeah.
He had weapons we've never seen before. But he tries to push off what Rebecca says to him, of, like, you're doing something selfless here.
Yeah.
But it's true... that he's just like, you know, he doesn't know what's going to be the answer. He doesn't know if Elena still will love him after the cure TM. Mm-hmm. He can't take that chance. So it's easier to just pretend that he has control over the situation.
Yeah.
And I hate that. But I love him. I let my guard down.
Yeah.
I let my guard down and I forgot that Catherine was a possibility.
Yeah. She always comes when you least expect it. And you're like, fuck. Because things aren't even going well, right? But like, even, it could always get worse, which is a fun thing that you just have to really experience throughout this entire show. There could always be a Catherine or someone else waiting in the wings, just trying to fuck everyone's shit up.
I don't know who I thought killed the mercenary.
Yeah.
In the woods. I don't know. I think in my brain, I was just thinking that it might have been someone random. I think maybe I thought it was Elijah, if anything. I don't know that Catherine was on my list.
Yeah.
And so when Elena said, oh no, then I said, oh no. Because there are not many people that she has that reaction to.
Yeah. Listen, I support women's wrongs, first and foremost. Do I support this one entirely?
Forever, yeah.
No, I have some qualms with this one for sure, because that really makes me sad. However, I did really like when Catherine was in there trying to like cosplay as Elena and being like, hey, Jeremy, the cure's right there. We should just take it, right? And he's like, hey, Bonnie's like, dying over there, so we should fix that first, and this will still be here because we're the only 3 people in here. No one's coming in. We're good. Just give it like 5 minutes. And Catherine as Elena immediately switches, and it's like, ugh, I forgot what a little brat you were. And Jeremy's like, excuse me? Hello? And it's like, I think it even takes like a couple of lines to be like, wait a minute, this is Catherine, this is not my sister. Which is so good. I know he's focused on other stuff, but like, it's very funny. How long it takes.
And it's wild because this episode had already been so chaotic and sad.
Yeah.
But the last 10 minutes truly just go to shit.
Yeah.
Of Bonnie has already been emotionally devastated by what she thinks is her grandmother.
Yeah.
And then Galen comes out of the fucking woodwork and stabs her. Yeah. And we don't know at that time where he stabs her. Right. So I immediately go to, oh, she's gone forever.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Because we just see her drop. And it's like, well, fuck.
Yeah. Oh, God.
And then having that juxtaposed with what had happened a moment before, which is Jeremy just using a nearby rock to try and break Silas.
Yeah.
His skeleton. You're going from something super funny to like, oh no, everything just got bad immediately.
Yep.
And this is happening to Bonnie with Jeremy, and Jeremy doesn't have powers. Bonnie doesn't wear one of those rings so that she can't die. So we're fucked.
Yep.
Here. And I love this because Galen's like, you need to get your fucking shit together, Jeremy. I think he even calls him, like, Mr. Gilbert or something. And I love Jeremy. Sometimes I forget he's just a kid because he's like, you stabbed my friend.
Right. It's like, wait. Yeah, Galen's out here like, I need this done
you.
yesterday, so can we pick up the pace? And he's like, that's my buddy. It was on the floor. What are you doing?
I just love that he's like not, because of course he's not able to process anything that's going on, because he's like, I can't trust you.
Yeah.
You hurt Bonnie. No. I love him. And then obviously Catherine coming in and it's just like, oh my God, Jeremy, you talk too much. It is not, I don't know. And the reason why I got so upset at the end of this episode is because I don't know if Jeremy is still wearing his ring.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to go from such a viscerally gross moment of Jeremy essentially being offered to Silas.
Yeah.
Which, ew, first of all.
Right. Hate it.
Hate that. And then he has his neck snapped again.
Yeah.
This is the third time, I think?
Right. God, he needs something protection up there. You know what I mean? Like, it keeps happening to him. He's got a... We need to put a helmet on this, like a bubble over the top of this guy. No, he needs for sure to be in a bubble. Like, the ring is not enough. We need him in a fully just isolated situation. Because, two, regardless, right? Either way, it's bad. Because, one, he's, like, for sure dead, right? Or two, he has the ring and then he gets revived again, which, like, will send him down the Rick path. Which
That's
he's already
still
on.
Not good.
He's already on that path, and it's not looking great. And especially with whatever new hunter shit he's got going on, and his cool tattoos, like, I don't think that's great. So, either way, we're fucked. It's so over.
And I also don't know... I mean, obviously him getting resurrected more times is not good for going down, like, the Rick path.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
I also don't know... From a resurrection standpoint, what does that do to the hunter powers?
Right.
Because I'm in full denial mode. I don't believe that he's dead. I cannot emotionally handle that.
He can't be. I refuse to believe it.
I refute that.
That can't be the way he goes out. You know what I mean?
No, I can't even possibly consider it because no, but it makes me too upset. It's like, there's no way. I know what I said when we first started the show.
This is all your fault, even though this is aired over a decade.
But I have so few regrets in my life. That is my biggest regret. If he ends up, there's only one thing that I know about this show now, right? Because I already know about the Caroline and Klaus thing. And the only thing that we know now is that, like, at some point about Bonnie. If Jeremy dies, I'm walking off the show. Like, I can't emotionally handle it. So I don't know what happens to his hunter powers. I don't know what that means to his, like, medium Jennifer Love Hewitt powers of seeing ghosts. I have questions there. But we do know by the end of this episode, even though it does do, like, a hard cut at the end, Bonnie isn't dead. She got stabbed, but we do see her at the end. Yeah. So I do feel a little bit better about that.
So, feel.
But nobody's in a good place.
No.
And I went into this episode thinking that this was going to be the conclusion of the Scary Island adventure. And that, I was lied to. Yeah. No one promised me that this episode. Sure. But I was lied to. And so I'm upset. Yeah. I feel a little bit better based on what next episode is. Is titled Stand By Me, but from what I can tell here is that Elena looks like she's back at her house. And Matt's there. I don't know if that's good or not. But she does seem to be out of the island. Yeah. So I do feel a little bit more calm in that sense. So I'm going under the presumption Jeremy's going to be fine and everything's going to be okay.
That's what I just have to tell myself because I can't handle anything
and I just
else.
have to live. I have to live under that delusion for right now. Otherwise, I will be nervous about fictional characters, and I just can't do that right now.
Yeah.
I can't possibly. But we have some amazing patrons to thank. Would you like to start us off?
Absolutely. Thank you to Greg Lautner.
Ooh, thank you to April Dobrev.
Pew pew. Thank you to Sean Salvatore.
Ooh, thank you to Megan Pattinson.
Ooh, thank you to Katya Karp.
Ooh, thank you to Genevieve Morgan.
Ow. Thank you to Danielle Burke.
Ooh, thank you to Janae Bennett.
Ooh, thank you to Sophia Salinger.
Ooh, thank you to Dan Zekros.
Ow. Thank you to Emily Ozera.
Ooh, and last, certainly not least, thank you to Jaylene Ivashkov.
Pew pew pew.
So I have a fanfiction for you this week by the author Thief in Darkness.
Love.
It is titled Ghosts Don't Bleed, but She Sure Does. And I found this because it had a lot of kudos on it, which apparently AO3, that's a good thing. And I'm going to just read the summary of this for you because I thought that it was very good.
Wow.
Caroline Forbes isn't special, except she could see people who weren't there. Not every ghost. It isn't like she goes to the cemetery and sees a bunch of dead people. Just two mostly. A kind of psychotic one and a quite quiet, sullen one. And the worst part is they won't leave her alone. They can't. Now Caroline has to navigate this and all the things that come with living in Mystic Falls. It would also really help if she could stop having weird dreams. That would be great. Or Caroline can see ghosts, and that causes her to get more involved in the plot from the beginning, maybe with a few curveballs thrown in. And there are 90,000 words in this fanfiction.
Wow. Okay. I love that.
So if you are interested in what looks like a tag of Caroline Forbes deserves better.
Yes.
Then, and another tag of Caroline is trying her best, then please enjoy this very long fanfiction.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Thief in Darkness,
for your
trying to read
service.
words that are all bunched together like that is always difficult. Well, friends, tell your friends about the show, first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, we have a bonus episode that I'm very excited for you to enjoy this month.
Yes.
Cody, what should folks be looking for this month on the Patreon?
We are finally, after so many years, talking about Mickey 17 for real. For real.
For real.
We already did it. It's done. We've watched it. We've talked about it. It's there for you. We here for you, you know?
Always.
So, enjoy. It's going to be great.
I'm very excited for you all to enjoy it. Well, friends, as we say here in the Pacific Northwest,
get bit.
Ooh.
Ow.
Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. You can follow us on Twitter at Into the Twilight or on TikTok at Into the Twilight Show. You can find me at Cody Corral on Twitter and Allie at Alexandria Does. And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Into the Twilight. We have merch, so much stuff. All those links are in the episode description. And make sure to rate and review us on your favorite podcast hosting platform. It really helps the show. Thanks. Bye.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media, audio for everyone.